record on this computer.
Oh,
Okay,
I
now
see
we
it
are.
now.
Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to start over. Thank you so much for being present with us today. And if you're listening, I really appreciate you taking time to listen in. So thank you, thank you. And super excited about the year 2021. My goodness, who would ever imagine that? Who could ever even write what happened last year? No one, I don't think, could even dream that up. But anyway, here we are, and the Lord has us right here today, and we're just going to trust Him through this year. But my desire is for this year to be drastically different. I have a business coach, someone that is helping me to become the best version of me so that I can help all of us do that. And I realized over the years that I have believed some lies that have not been serving me and actually have been holding me back. And I really, really want to grow and be the best version of me so that I can help all of us do the same. And so yesterday I was talking to my coach and I just said, I just want between now and March 31st to be drastically different. And she said, okay, well, that's great. She said, now we just need to define what that means and what it smells like, tastes like, feels like, looks like. And so I'm working on that piece, and some of you might want to do that along with me. But I guess I just really wanted to share with you that this business is a journey, and it really is a mindset. And Cindy sent around a video or an interview actually of a podcast of someone who talked about mindset. And that's a little bit of a buzzword, and I don't know if we know exactly what that means, but it is a way of thinking, and it has to do with our thought process. And I know for me, I have automated some thoughts that are not healthy and are not positive. They've kind of been in the realm of scarcity and I can't and I don't know and all that sort of thing. And so I'm in the process of changing my thought patterns. And my greatest desire is to be all that God created me to be in order to honor Him and glorify Him as His special creation, and in order to do all the things He's put me here to do. And there are people that I know He wants each one of us to touch in our circles that no one else can. And if we're hiding, like I have been, or not willing to have the conversation, or for whatever reason, whatever thing we're telling ourselves, then this kind of like that brake pedal, I want to go, but then we stop ourselves. And so I just am confessing to you and kind of want y'all to keep me accountable. I really want to be the best version of me that I can. And Cindy and I were talking yesterday about what makes some people successful in our business and what is it? And I wrote down that we concluded, and then I decided, I scratched it. I said, no, we didn't conclude anything. We just kind of decided that it's not about what you do necessarily, but it's more about who you are. It's more about who you're becoming. And so I'm learning that what I focus on grows. And if I'm focused on what is true and honorable and just and pure and lovely and commendable, then that's what's going to grow. And if I practice those things, then God promised to give me peace. And peace can translate into confidence and excitement and just that, whew, everything's good. And I told you earlier, I think in the text, that my word for the year was flexibility. And I know why I said that, because Aaron is getting ready to deploy and Jen and the girls are going to be here. And we were just talking about how important it is for Jen that I be flexible. And so that's really true. But I think a little bit broader word, more encompassing, and more where I'm at right now and where I want to be for you all is that of renewal and transformation. And I recently heard a message on Romans 12:1 and 2 about being renewed in your mind and being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so I'm actually working on doing that, capturing every thought to the obedience of Christ so that I can be that person that God meant for me to be, and I can accomplish all that he meant for me to accomplish. So in 2021, this is what, I mean, who knows? After last year, who knows? But one thing for sure, we need to know without a shadow of doubt who we are in Christ. And we need to step into all that God created us to be with confidence and courage, and be able to have those conversations that he has called us to. So let me ask you some of those questions that were on the text that I sent around. The 3 questions: where are you now? What do you want? Where do you want to be by March 31st? And what are you willing to do to get there? And so that question, where are you now? I mean, it could be as simply as, I'm just starting. I don't really know. I don't even know what level I am. I don't have a clue. It could be that, you know, and if you just say, I'm just starting out, but just jot down something. If you have something to write on, where are you now? Are you stuck? Are you excited? Where are you now? Where are you? You can say Partner Plus, you could say QSC, you can say Senior Sales Coordinator, whatever it is, but just take a little assessment of where you are. And then the next question, where do you want to be by March 31st? And we're looking at a 90-day window. So where would you like to be by the end of March? And believe it or not, if you can't see it, you won't believe it. So your brain has to see it in order for you to believe it. And I'm learning so much about the brain. It's an incredible part of our body that God has given to us. But where do you want to be by March 31st? Can you picture that? For me, I would love to see everyone who is at a qualifying sales coordinator level and doesn't have very many customers. I would love to see you get to the halfway club where you have 900 points every month and growing. Or if you're beyond that, I would love to see you qualifying your business where you're working toward getting the 25 customers every month. And that will automatically qualify your business. But you know what? It's a process. It's a learning process to know how to talk to people, how to listen, how to ask the questions, and how to invite people so they can learn about Juice Plus and make that decision for themselves. And so that would be a very, very basic goal. And then just think about what that would feel like when you come to the end of the month and you're going, wow, I don't have to have that last minute scurry of getting enough orders together to make sure I qualify. That would be a great feeling. It would be wonderful. It would be fun. It would be relaxing. It would taste really sweet, wouldn't it? If you could just sit down to dinner and know that, wow, that's done. So where are you now? Where do you want to be by March 31st? And what are you willing to do to get there? Now, I love the illustration of jumping in a pool because I've done it both ways, okay? I've been like, oh, it's kind of cold. I don't really want to commit. I don't want to get my hair wet. I don't want to feel the cold. I don't want to go through that sensation. And so I just put my big toe in, and then I put my foot in, and then I kind of work my way up to my knees. And then it's like, oh, this is painful. Or are you the type of person that is like, I'm going to do this, and you just jump in, full all out commitment? And for me, that means I got to get out, have time to wash my hair and style it and all that business. And it's a big commitment. But hey, wow, it's so much more fun to be in the pool and having a great time. And it's the same way with our business. We can say, oh, I think I'm just going to ease into it. It's okay. I'll learn as I go. And I'm not really going to worry about talking to people. I'm going to talk to them as they talk to me or as they bring it up. And so I'm just going to go nice and easy and nice and slow. Meanwhile, you lose all the title rewards, or you lose the fast track, the express track title rewards, or it's just a different kind of pressure because you might decide later on that I really do want this. And then it's like playing catch up. And so what are you willing to do? Are you willing to like figure it out and then just be all in and go for it? And if you talk to people, you can learn that it's so fun. It's so much more fun. And it actually is easier to go fast than it is to go slow. I love the illustration that Harriet uses. Sometimes when we start off in this business, or we've even been in it for a long time, it's like, wow, this business is so hard. It's so hard to get customers. It's so hard to keep customers, all those things. And it just is hard. Well, if we keep telling ourselves, that's one of those things, the meditations of our heart. If we tell ourselves that, then that's what we believe, and that's the way it's going to be that way. And so it's going to be very true for you. The illustration that Harriet uses that I love, when she made that first trip to Jackson by herself, she was scared to death. I don't know if it's a 6 or 8 hour drive from Atlanta, but she sat down with her husband and she said, how can I do this? And he said, well, can you get to the outskirts of Atlanta? I think they lived on the east side of Atlanta. Can you get to the outskirts of Atlanta? And she said, yes, I can do that. And she said, how long will that take? And he said, well, that takes about an hour. And so she was like, sure, I can do an hour. And then they looked at the next little leg, and I don't remember the names of the town, but it was going to be about an hour and a half or 2 to get to that point. And she was like, yeah, I can get there. And then he said, and then there's another town that's about 90 minutes away. Could you get there? And she said, I can do 90 more minutes. And then the last leg was going to be about an hour. And so when she broke it up into those little pieces, it wasn't so hard. And so my thought is, if you really, really, really want to get to whatever destination you've chosen by March 31st, would you be willing to get with your coach, to get with me, with your upline sponsor, whoever, and map out a course and say, okay, this is where I want to be by March 31st. What do I need to do? What could be the steps to get there? And we can do some backup planning. And if you can work with your coach to accomplish those milestones on your way to your destination, it'll be so fun because we can celebrate along the way. I'm sure as she drove, I think Kevin went with her, Kevin Sulzer, and I'm sure they stopped and got an ice cream, or they stopped and they did some sort of celebration. But that is so fun. And it tells your brain you did a good thing. You are on it. You're successful. You're doing great. And it's so fun to do that. And we can all celebrate with you. And so getting that roadmap, figuring out where you want to go, what steps you need to take to get there, and then being consistent, doing the activity, consistently going. I mean, you can't start your car and then stop at a roadside park for a couple hours. You won't get there in a very timely way, and it'll be discouraging, right? And so you've got to be consistent. You got to keep your foot on the gas, and you got to keep going. So it's an awesome way, I think, to look at getting to where you want to be by March 31st. And I would love to have, for me, I would love to have my calendar full of those types of coaching calls. I would love to have people reaching out to me saying, okay, I want to get here. How can I get here? What can we do? What events can we plan? What Zooms can we schedule? And there's so many options. There's so many calls that the company has, Zoom calls, and we've got the winter, what's it called? It's not a regional.
Winter Summit.
The Winter Summit. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's the Winter Summit. That's this Saturday, you guys. Now, I'll be honest, I'm going to be in New Jersey with with Ryan and his family. I'm not going to be available to commit to that, but it starts at noon Eastern time, so 11 Central and 10 o'clock Mountain time. And they're going to have, and it's free, you guys. So I will forward to you in the text messages, because I know not everybody is on Voxer, how to enroll and how to register for that, so you can take part of it. And it's going to be 2 sessions, so that's why there will be 2 different flyers, so to speak. Okay, so we have a couple of tools that I think have been really, really helpful, and they help keep us on track. It's a way to reward ourselves as we go along and see clearly what we need to do. And one of them is called the bingo. And I've asked Lisa if she would explain, because she actually revamped that into a document that gives her a little more space. And so, Lisa, I don't know, can you pop back on to show us that and explain how you have used it and why it has inspired you? And you'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I thought I did. I'll show you in a minute. The reason I revamped it was just because I didn't have enough space, and my printer isn't really hooking up to my USB, so it was just easier. So I just used what they had, and then under I just put it on a Google Doc, and I can send it because it's open. But then in a different color, I write for the one that says watch 3 short product videos. I just put it in a different color and bullet it and say what I watched. I do that more for me. And then I was, so for state and write your November or December or now January goals and 3 affirmations. I actually, for me personally, did it on a separate sheet of paper so that I was saying those affirmations every day and looking at my goals every day. And then what I like about it now is, for me, I see the ones that I am struggling with, like getting a new partner, or having enough guts to ask a customer to share their story, because I guess I'm not quite sure what they should say or whatever. So, but it gives me that, okay, you need to woman up now and do those. So for me, that's what it's the same boxes that have been open. And the one that says complete a 5-1, the one that Cindy talks about 511 this month. So that's kind of a goal now. So that goes to my goal list. So for me, that's why it's been helpful. I can probably pull it up just so you can see it if that's what you wanted me to do. Hang on.
And you said it's in Google Docs, so anybody can log into that?
I could invite someone to it, okay. Or just, yeah, I could send it to someone, or you can invite people. Hang on, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, anybody that wants to do that, I would strongly encourage you, because I don't know about you all, but when I have something like that in writing, I mean, it's like, to me, it's like, oh, I'm going to do that. And it's just a real clear visual and kind of the goal of getting a bingo. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Um, it's just that sense of accomplishment and it's tangible and you can see where you've been and what you need to accomplish. And so I just love it. And if you have this in Google Docs, I mean, we could even change some of the categories, right, Lisa?
Right, you could do whatever you want with it. And I do it because if it's not in writing for me, like if it's not on my calendar, I won't do it. Can you
Right.
see that now?
Yes. Can't read it, but we can see it.
Okay, so you can see I have different colors and who I wrote notes to. Oops, is that my thing on? Just realizing that. So yeah, and like sign up. I like it's kind of weird, but there's one that says sign up one new customer for complete. For me, that usually shows up a month after I'm doing everything, because I've been bringing them to people or whatever and asking them what they like for fruits or whatever. So it also makes you do, I mean, you can see the legwork that you've done. So it makes you feel like, okay, I've done more than I thought. Like I know that I'm not going to get that complete typically. Like I have someone that I did it last month and she's still looking at my website and so whatever. It just gives you opportunities to see that you're doing something.
But we don't have control of the results. But what I love is that you can pat yourself on the back because of what you did. I did this and I can't control what they're going to decide, but I can put my best foot forward and do that activity. And we know that it takes a lot of activity. It takes a lot of conversations to before someone finally decides to actually get their credit card out. And so what is the average? 7 to 8 exposures, 7 to 8 conversations. That includes Zoom calls, that includes inviting to watch a video or to be part of an event that's happening online, like the call last night with Shelley Mackey and Wendy Campbell, that sort of thing. And so anyway, I'm super excited about that. The other one that I'm totally open for discussion on this one, you all. I'd love to hear from you regarding the Shred 10. I can see where people would benefit from that. And Dana Love and several people on her team are starting one, and it's open right now. They're starting one on Monday. Is that the 11th? I think that's January 11th, and it'll go for 10 days. And we could certainly join in on that if you have anybody that is ready and would like to be part of that for the first of the year. You just go to that, and I don't have Facebook right now. It's so weird, but you can go to the Facebook group and join. ask to join, and they'll let you in. It's not a problem at all. And so the question I have is how can we make that work? Are you interested in making that work? Do you have any questions about it? I know Dana said that, because I was asking her about it in a Voxer message in her Voxer chat, and she said that she has found that it's helped some of her customers stay on Juice Plus after the shred, or even start Juice Plus, or they've been on Juice Plus and kind of faded away and then got re-engaged because of the shred. And so a lot of people, I talked with a potential customer today, and she said that her daughter or daughter-in-law just talked her into starting the whole 30. And that's not Juice Plus, but it is a month long of very, very restricted eating, way more than the shreds. And so I'm thinking for her, a little education, and hopefully by then they'll be on Juice Plus, and she would be ready for February if we wanted to do something like that. Dana said they don't do one every month, they do in like every quarter, but some of her team who is newer wanted to do another one in January, even though they just done one in December. So we can go back and forth on that on Voxer if you want to, or even in the text thread. But as a tool, I think that's a great tool. And I really do think that our Zoom calls that Cindy was doing to come join us, the Freedom Revolution, and that I was doing, those are very, I think they're to the point. It shows the whole big picture. That's a great tool. That is a great way to invite people, and it's personal because it's us, it's our story. So does anybody have any feedback, any comments, any questions? Lori, I'm so happy to have you on. You just made Partner Plus. Yay, that's huge, Lori. That is huge. And thank you for persevering and getting that done. How do you feel about that?
Well, Cindy keeps me motivated. No, I feel great about it, and I do. I've been sitting down taking notes all day. I had to listen to that Love Pro whatever that earlier today, and my mind's just blown. But yeah, no, Cindy, I think we're gonna get to a qualified sales coordinator by the end of March.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
I'm writing names and drawing stick figures underneath of them and stuff. So
that's so exciting. That's super, Lori. Do you mind if I ask you, what would you like your Juice Plus business to do for you? Big picture.
Big picture, my retirement.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it right now, is my retirement. So.
Wow, that's exciting. That's really exciting because the title rewards and I just want to speak one quick minute to personal growth. You hear that word bantered around a lot. The personal growth piece is, oh my word. I think every national marketing director that gives their acceptance speech says, I wouldn't trade the personal growth for all the money that I've gotten working my way to national marketing director. And Lori, what you've been going through is huge personal growth. Just saying, okay, I'm going to say yes. Cindy's going to put this challenge out there. She's keeping me motivated, but I'm going to say yes to that. And I'm not going to run away from it. And so that's a lot of personal growth. And I would challenge you to Google the definition of personal growth. There's a zillion different definitions. But what is personal growth to you? And I will say,
personal growth to me, being more focused and more grounded is being more driven in one direction instead of scattered directions, and just being mindful for myself. I mean, that's the first step of my growth. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah, and for me, the personal growth is right along the lines of, I just want to capture every thought to the obedience of Christ and make sure that it's serving me and the mission that God has me on. And so, and that's challenging because some of my thoughts are pretty ugly and I don't want to face them.
Yes.
But I want them gone. And so just working on that process. And it's exciting. It's exciting to go through that and experience it. So anybody else have any thoughts? I just want you to know how much I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for taking some time out to be on. I really hope to hear from you. I guess I've learned from my own experience that when I'm hungry and I want something, then I'm reaching out, and I risk asking that question, will you help me? And admitting that I have that need. And so please don't hesitate to reach out, and let's really make this next 90 days drastically different. All righty. Okay, you guys, thank you.
Can I
so
say
much.
one thing, Chris?
Yes, please.
Just heard a really great quote for those of you who listened to the Wendy Campbell, Shelley Mackey call, but it was a quote by Matthew Kelly from a book, The Rhythms of Life. And his words were, whether you're 16 or 60, the rest of your life is ahead of you. You cannot change one moment of your past, but you can change your whole future. And now is your time.
Oh,
That's for all of you, all of us, all of
yeah,
us.
that's
Wow.
awesome. That's awesome. And I have to tell you a little story real quick about Harriet. She was on the NMD call, her NMD call yesterday, and she said, my kids, they just laughed at me because I said, I only have 10 years and I have so much I want to do. There's so much I've got to get done in these last 10 years, because she just turned 80 this summer. And she was telling the story about her mom. And she said, my mom was 90 or 93. And I think she passed in her sleep one night, but the day before, she took her friend shopping with her because she had to get a bathing suit because she was going on a cruise with Rusty's mom, because they were best friends, and they were going to go snorkeling. She had to have this bathing suit. So on the top of her bag that was ready to go the next morning, because they were leaving, was this brand new bathing suit. And I'll tell you what a way to go, right? I mean, I so appreciate that quote, Cindy. Thank you for just tying this whole thing with the bow with that quote. And we have so much potential. I look at you all sitting here and I'm going, oh my word, I'm so excited. Just think what we could do. Just think the difference we can make in so many families between now and March. So let's go for it. Got so much to do. Thank you, everybody, and we will be in touch. I'll look forward to hearing from you all.
Thanks,
All
Chris.
right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Chris.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.